What's going on, guys? We have a lot to cover today, and like most days, I just want to start off by getting your minds invested. Now, the question is, how would you feel if you were told to be off of the streets by 2 p.m.? And this isn't a suggestion, this would be a rule. And while I respect rules, it's insane to expect people to go home by 2 p.m. But this is exactly what's happening in Philadelphia right now. Now, before I even get there, multiple curfews are being implemented from place to place, sparking a paradigm shift in our life as it feels like crime goes unpunished nowadays. But think about it. Should crime be punishable? And is this directly connected to those curfews in different areas in our country because of crimes? Now I'm talking about theft, shoplifting, carjacking, stuff that really shouldn't be done, but people are doing it anyway because we've become so soft on crime. Accountability is a huge issue because it's hard to find that in some of our own leaders. I mean, heck, even Coke was found in the White House. In the freaking White House, guys. And what did they say about it? Nothing really. President Biden even smirked and laughed when he was asked about it.
Everyone to come this way, please. Everyone, please come towards the door. Please come this way. Please come this way.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, what would happen to anybody else if Coke was found on them in their home or office or in their car? I mean, I'm not trying to bash on the president, but just how many presidents has this happened to? But I'm going off topic. Let's get back to the curfews. So right here, Newark police are putting in curfew enforcement to hopefully cut down on car thefts. They're saying that this is just one tool that they have at the moment, and that out of the 17 most recent vehicles stolen this month, only a handful of arrests have been made, most of them being minors or under 18 years old.
Most cities have a curfew limit, and we just hope to get them before they get a chance to go steal a car.
The issue has gotten to the point the division has decided it's going to be more strictly enforcing the curfew. It's midnight for those 16 and 17, 11 p.m. for those 14 and 15, and 10 for those 13 and younger.
If we can identify someone as being underage, out past curfew, we can make an arrest and we can get them back home and hopefully keep a car from being stolen.
Now, the question is it working? We're gonna have to wait and see. However, some places are already loosening their curfew restrictions. Take the city of Atlanta as one example, as well as Baltimore. Some of these local governments are imposing fines for the parents as well as classes sponsored by organizations to show them what the kids are actually going through. So let me go ahead and stop right there for a second. If you don't know what your kid's going through, I suggest you find out right now. The truth is that some families just don't have the same connections as they used to. And it's honestly heartbreaking to see just how many of us are divided on so many different issues. But I'm serious, guys. Talk to your kids. I know that times are very different. We're all very busy right now, but parenting, it goes a long way. But seeing those curfews, one can't help but to think that another narrative is being drawn for us. Now, what if curfews weren't set just for minors? What if these curfews were set and implemented for adults as well? There are some extreme cases for these curfews, like in Philadelphia, where kids between the ages of 14 and 18 are banned from public businesses after 10 p.m. unless they're with an adult. And even worse, they're banned from the fashion district at 2 p.m. or even before school even lets out.
Starting tomorrow, anyone under the age of 18 who enters the fashion district after 2 p.m. needs to be accompanied by an adult age 23 or older.
Kenna McLennan works right by the fashion district, and after last Wednesday's flash mob where hundreds of teens turned out and a police officer was injured, she's even more cautious than ever.
It's like swarms of them, like outside. Last Sunday, they were like all up and down the blocks, just like standing on the wall, just kind of like waiting for something to go down, and that made me feel unsafe. So that's why I went home immediately.
And now she's more than happy to hear that new restrictions start Monday, including anybody under 18 must be with someone over 23 to get into the mall after 2 p.m.
Which brings me to this next point. Crime will continue to remain rampant no matter what your age is, so long as the consequences don't scare you. Now think about this for a second. If you commit a crime and all you need to do is attend a seminar, does that really scare you? Or how about you got to spend a night in jail, and even then you spend $0 on bail? But again, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the judgment to you guys. Do you agree that curfews will be able to solve the problems that we have with crime right now? Or is this just gonna be a step toward more control and no real solutions? Now, speaking of big problems and control, we're going through a very rough patch with the economy. Now, what can be done? Think of the health crisis where we were made to feel as if money couldn't be printed fast enough and sent to struggling Americans who need it. Now, just imagine if there was a way to send thousands of dollars per person without the need to wait. Because hey, Americans come first for our government, right? So what's the solution? Here's what we hear. Oh, remember the CBDC plan we had? Why not revisit it? There's one called FedNow, and all we ask in return is your phone number, your IDs, a selfie with your ID. That way we know it's you, right? Your social security number, your birthday, your email address, and everything else we're going to ask for. Now, at this point, they're not even forcing you to get on board because, millions would be so happy just to have money because a downturn that was planned from the very beginning is putting people in this position. They want us to be happy about a CBDC, and they want us to thank them for creating such a crisis and then solving it after the fact. But, and I'm sorry, I got to pile more into this. This isn't even the worst of it. They will even probably send us this money, and in exchange, they're going to put in a time limit and an expiration date on the money. They've already talked about this. And I mean, imagine money that expires, right? I mean, how crazy is that? Or how about money that you can only use on approved items? The Bank of Canada has talked about this before, and this is merely a way to get us hooked. It's going to almost feel like a fix to spend this money. And that's not a good thing. They don't even want you to think about what you're spending your money on. They just want you splurging on things that won't necessarily build up as value and keep you broke, keep you poor. Like, have you ever heard them say, hey, real estate's a great investment? Why not clean up your debt and focus on buying assets that you can make money off of? You're not going to hear that from the government. And of course, we can't avoid talking about the fees that you'd have to pay if you don't follow their narrative. Oh, you ate meat that's not produced from a lab? Oh, that's going to be a $100 fine. Oh, you use your car past the allotted hours and the distance that you can use it? That's going to cost you $1,500. Don't worry if you don't have the money in your bank account. We're just going to go ahead and treat it as debt that will incur interest. Now, some of you guys might say that this is all crazy talk, but the WEF, the WEF, or the World Economic Forum, the group of unelected leaders worth billions and billions of dollars, they're all in on it when it comes to the CBDC. They were all in for lockdowns and vaccines, stuff that turned out so great for us, huh? And so this is why I'm making my own moves when it comes to my money. And if you ask me, I'm already looking at different assets, asset classes that I can invest in. And like I said, real estate is going to have a lot of opportunities for many of us once the economy does eventually crash and burn. But I'm not waiting for the crash and burn. I'm looking for opportunities all the time. But the same goes for the stock market. Whether it's index funds, individual stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, options, you name it. And don't even get me started on gold and silver. If this happens, precious metals are probably going to be taken off, folks. And this is the reason why I always encourage people, to drive your own path toward financial freedom, because we don't want to be pawns in this game. We deserve to be the kings and the queens. Now, if you're thinking that your cash flow isn't enough, then decide today to do something about it. There's plenty of different methods to increase and generate multiple streams of income. You got side hustles, even small businesses, home-based businesses. Heck, you can work overtime on your job or even get a second job. But if you want to learn how to face this downturn like no other, then please drop a quick comment down below. Let me know if you want more videos covering these topics. We will not stand for what they want. Instead, we will stand up for ourselves and our own rights. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop me a quick like for the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.